Psychonauts is one of the most underrated games of all time, or at least it was, with its initial release on April 19th, 2005. This game touches upon topics such as PTSD, death in the family, dementia, and unaliving yourself. Yeah, fun game, right? But Psychonauts follows the life of a boy named Razputin, which we'll just refer to him as Raz, who was actually voiced by Richard Stephen Horvitz, who was known for being Invader Zim, which is fucking awesome. Also, there's this really cool interactable start menu that lets you wander around this brain, and it's very sloshy. So this funny looking fella is giving a fun little speech. This is Coach Oleander, and he has a lot of problems.
Herbaceous undulations.
And basically, this is a camp full of gifted kids with psychic powers who are trying to become international secret agents, also known as
Psychonauts!
We see this girl and these ugly ass kids trying to scare this tiny boy. Our boy Raz falls from a tree and startles everyone. And the camp leaders use telekinesis to bring him over. Apparently, Raz snuck his way into this camp, but Razputin convinces them to let him stay, and it works. Dogan waddles his way next to Raz, as Raz informs us that he doesn't want to go home because he's being punished by his family for having psychic powers.
And then you'll make their heads explode?
No. Do you do that?
Well, once kinda, but now I wear this special hat.
Oh, Dogan, you little murderer, you. One of the counselors says that Raz is very gifted and wants to run some experiments on him, and Oleander has big plans for him, whatever that means. So we pick our bunk and we go to sleep, but now we're met with an old man as he informs us about Psy challenge markers and Psy cards as they help us unlock more psychic powers. Raz then awakens and it's time for something called basic braining, and this dude is really excited.
Basic braining is the best class ever! Woohoo!
And this one shares a funny little story.
He exploded.
Oh, and this is Bobby Zilch and his huge-eared friend, as they are the bullies of this place, but Raz kinda gets their ass.
Because you look more like the cotton candy.
We then arrive for basic braining and enter the twisted mind of Coach Oleander. He rambles about some nonsense, so we knock the wall down to proceed. Then this kid bravely runs in only to get fucking exploded. This is the war-infested world of Coach Oleander, with constant explosions. We find a figment of his imagination, and they allow us to rank up and unlock new powers. Then we see a literal thing of emotional baggage, in which we must find its matching tag to sort it out. The bag gets really happy, and honestly, it's kinda cute. We continue onward and see Bobby as he kicks down Raz. The girl from earlier saves us from the fall, so we grab some figments and do some platforming. We shimmy across the wall and free another emotional baggage. Then we go up some trampolines to climb a wall and see Dogan as we must help him through the minefield. Come on, little fella. We climb a flagpole and Oleander's metal mouth opens. We are now inside of a plane. We smack the door off and this dude fucking flies out. So we jump out and find ourselves in some snow. These two are like really annoying. Basically, we must score 20 points in this game by hitting these cardboard cutouts until the door finally opens. And you guessed it, they fucking explode. We see a safe and it contains a little bit of insight about Oleander's past, as he seemed to be a great soldier in whatever war he served in. We then make it to this big turret, so we have to progress while taking cover behind these walls. We get another emotional baggage and reach to the turret. Bobby comes out and says, yeah. We go through another door and slide down. We swing up a pole and get another little baggage man. We swing up some more poles and some tight ropes to bust down a wall, and these kids just fall. We go through some planes and acquire another bag to do some more swinging so we can go down this rail and get some figments and jump over Bobby Zilch. Raz enters this extremely abstract room where these logs rotate. We just follow the path until we reach the end and slide down. It seems that we made it before everyone else and enter this white hallway with a window at the end. Oleander seems very defensive as he pulls us out, but he gives us a psychic merit badge showing that we completed basic braining. Bobby then tries to threaten us. Sasha 9 is behind us and is impressed by our performance and would like Raz to report to his lab for advanced training. Now we can explore Whispering Rock Psychic Summer Camp. We see some of the kids playing hide and seek and go fucking invisible. Then we find an arrowhead, which is this game's currency. We then see this kid is making a plan to fucking peep on the girls' cabin.
You grabbed one of the squirrel's nuts, and now you're using clairvoyance on it to form a mental link and see what the squirrel sees.
Could you say acorns instead of nuts if you repeat that to anybody else? Where I am merely an expert in the ladies.
these nuts?
Little man is a player. God damn. This place is actually pretty damn big, and we pay a toll to cross the bridge and see the old man in our dream as he gives us a list of items to collect. Then he disappears. We then see this Russian kid that wants to fight a bear.
In Russia, bears much smaller.
We go into the lodge and find the old man. He sells various items in exchange for arrowheads, but this will be more important later. There's these two kids that almost give us a warning about Agent 9's training. We then hear someone crying and smack this thing to free him. We go back into whatever he was trapped in and put Sasha's button on it to go down. We see some device called the brain tumbler. It sends you deep into your own mind where you can find unparalleled insight and power. We enter and arrive in the astral plane, also known as the collective unconscious, a place that connects your minds to others. But for now we can only go through ours. Raz sees a rundown gypsy caravan as we learn that this is where he was born. It looks very clouded and is surrounded by figments. We open a vault that shows a circus as a cloaked figure hands Raz a book, and as everyone is training, Raz is reading the book and his father shreds it to pieces, and Raz proceeds to make his escape, then arrives at the camp. We enter the caravan and it's pretty trippy, but we destroy it as this rabbit appears and now we must follow it. There's a lot of figments and this creepy hand-like enemy, but we proceed and see this black cloud with eyes as Raz starts to panic. Sasha pulls him out at the last second. Sasha actually offers to teach Raz how to fight and he accepts. Sasha is shocked by his response as he expected Raz to decline, informing us that Raz needs a marksmanship learner's permit for the training or Sasha could lose his job. We need to convince someone called Agent Cruller to acquire the permit. We hop on this cart and go to Cruller's sanctuary, and it's the old man from earlier. This is Ford Cruller, the greatest leader of the Psychonauts, or at least he was at one point in time, and he literally just hands us the learner's permit. We don't even have to do anything. Then he tells us that when he's on the surface he will pretend to not recognize us so he doesn't blow his cover. Oh yeah, and he also gives us a piece of bacon. Nice. We go back to the lab and we go inside of Sasha's mind this time as Sasha wants to teach Raz control. We blast some objects, then this little dude. We're left with this machine and we max it out as a bed emerges from this cube. Now we need to get this area under control, so we defeat some enemies and open a vault called Sasha's First Loss. It shows Sasha's mother from his perspective as he's just a baby and his family looks very happy, but then it shows his mom in a bed and it seems that she has passed and his father is distraught. As his dad is standing over her grave, he is now alone with Sasha. Damn bro, this shit hurts. But we hit these targets and everything is retracted back into the cube. Now something else emerges and this process repeats a couple more times as this one explodes.
Run, Razputin. Very fast.
And this tubby dude is our first boss, also known as the Mega Sensor. We just dodge his little stamp attack and blast him, but his health keeps regenerating. So we destroy these things to stop that, and now we can defeat him. Sasha gives us our next Psychic Merit Badge, and we can now re-enter Raz's mind. Raz defeats the monster from earlier, and Raz's mind seems very cluttered and randomly has meat scattered around. But there's a doctor who's gonna take Dogen's brain out of his head, and we try to reach the top, but we lack the ability to levitate. So yet again, Sasha takes us out and tells us to obtain the Oarsman badge to continue. We make our way over to the boathouse as a hand emerges from the water and beckons us. And we learn that Raz has a phobia of water because of a gypsy curse that says his entire family will die in water. And then Dogen just comes out of the water, which is pretty weird, and he's acting very strange.
TV.
As we see his brain is literally gone, and the dream that Raz had was true. So we get on a little boat and make it to Levitation Training. We see Lily and she tells us that she had the same exact dream as Raz, and that we should rendezvous at the old boathouse at night. We enter Agent Vidello's mind, and there's just a bunch of little challenges to get us accustomed with levitation. Also, this place is super colorful and very 80s like. I just like the aesthetic a lot. We see a vault titled Milla's Adventures, where Vidello and Sasha are working together on various missions, and it gets a little romantical. We now have a race where we must beat Bobby Zilch, and honestly, it's pretty damn fun. We beat him and finally get our next merit badge, and we get a little smooch. We go back to Cruller and obtain pyrokinesis, and Raz tells us that his dad hates psychonauts, but that his dad also has psychic powers.
My dad, he hates psychics, and he knew I was becoming one. So all day long he would force me to practice my acrobatics, hoping to distract me, or maybe hoping to kill me. I never was sure.
Now why are you still talking when you could be burning stuff?
We burn some stuff and go back to Sasha's lab, go in the tumbler and levitate to the top of the tower. We see Dogen sneeze out his brain and turn into a literal vegetable. The doctor then makes his way to Lily and we go down the chute. There's this boss fight with a tank and it's pretty annoying, but we slap it until it explodes and we are back in the hallway of Oleander's mind as Sasha takes us back once again. And he says he's leaving for official Psychonauts business. We find out that we were in Oleander's mind the entire time, and that explains why all the meat was there. So we go back to the lake and meet with Lily as she tells us that Oleander is kidnapping children and stealing their brains to make weapons. Lily grabs a flower, but it's attached to this large fish thing and it literally eats her and then takes her underwater. Raz enters this machine and goes down into the lake, into this bubble. So we ring this bell and the monster reveals itself. There's this little segment where we hit these boxes into its mouth, then do some platforming. We make it to the last phase and get its lure stuck in these clamshells so we can finally defeat it. Crawler tells us that this fish was mutated and is being controlled, so we enter its mind and we are now gigantic. This part is just fucking hilarious. We're literally Godzilla.
Down here!
Excuse me, were you talking to me?
Ah! Ow! My ears!
I'm sorry.
Ah! Oh my god! Ah!
Are you okay?
He's dead.
And we are now able to destroy the entire city. Raz destroys this thing and now we can enter through the laser tunnel. Then we jump on this blimp to progress and destroy some planes. And our next objective is the radio tower. This other entity is called Kuchimura and it's very clearly Coach Oleander. And he really tries to throw hands. So we beat his ass and he flies into the radio tower. And then he fades away. We're now at this island so we can save Lily and see this mysterious man, but we need a couple of things before we can continue. So we go back to Crawler and we get telekinesis. Okay, so now we are actually locked from progressing without the cobweb duster. So we go to the lodge and it costs fucking 800 arrowheads. So we need the dowsing rod and we need to do a little bit of grinding. So we collect 800 arrowheads and get the cobweb duster and go back to the island and enter this weird guy's mind as he is obsessed with someone called the Milkman. We open the fridge and acquire the clairvoyance power. It allows us to see through the eyes of another. And trust me, this shit comes in handy. Okay, so this is the weird world of Boyd. This guy is extremely paranoid and he's just not mentally there, and we can see that there is just so much random shit going on. So now the objective is to find the presumably dead Milkman. We grab a stop sign out of this trunk and go down this twisted street, then use our stop sign to blend in with the road crew so we can make our way to this girl.
Hello, sir. I am a rainbow squirt. Would you like to buy a box of my delicious rainbow treats?
I would buy some cookies, but I don't have any milk. Do you have any idea where I could buy some milk for my cookies?
Ah! Creepy man!
Well, fuck you then. We smack this vault titled Boyd Fired Again, as dude is literally just doing his job and then gets fired. And then he fucking burns the place to the ground and is taken to an asylum. Wholesome story, I know. We use clairvoyance on this guy as he inputs a code, so now we can access this building to attain a plunger. All of a sudden, these hands pull us through some portal and we have a mini boss fight. We just shoot rays at it and throw one of these bombs in its mouth as it goes down. We get a flower and make our way to the graveyard and use pyrokinesis to burn these thorns to get a rifle and get sent back to Void as he tells us to go to the depository. We equip the plunger and go down the sewers, then use our rifle as we're getting shot at through the window. Raz goes up the building and it's the little girl who's shooting at us, and she fucking jumps out the window as she blows herself up. We use clairvoyance on this helicopter as we finally see the Milkman's location and acquire a phone. Boyd answers, but he's acting weird as usual. However, we go up the telephone pole and slide on the wiring to reach a house. Raz knocks on the door and blasts the girl so we can enter. But now, shit gets even weirder somehow.
Oh, hello there. Have you come to pay for your rainbow treats? We knew you would. Won't you join us in our Rainbow Squirt Pledge of Purpose?
To promote niceness, to make the world prettier, to share candy with everyone, to obfuscate the true nature of the Milkman, to protect the Milkman at all costs. ahead until you reveal his secret objective.
Go, girls! Protect the milk! Do not follow! The milk is not ready, and you are not ready for the milk!
We approach the Milkman, but now we have another fight. We just blast this bitch until her second phase begins. The lights turn off and we use clairvoyance to see from her perspective, and then smack her a couple of times until we finally defeat her. And I guess Boyd was the Milkman the entire time and starts exploding shit. We make it out of his mind and we can safely assume that he wants to burn down this motherfucking asylum. Then we meet this lady who is talking to an audience of pots. Oh yeah, and we're at an asylum, so everyone is gonna be a little fucked up in some way. If we try to touch this lady's trophy, she'll freak out, like, actually.
Gleaming metal claw-like part on the top. Say, would you like to hear the story of how I won that award, dear boy? Or are you trying to take it because you don't think I deserve it?
No, you deserve it.
I didn't take anything from you. I didn't ask to be famous. I just wanted you to love me. Hey!
What?
You're supposed to be dead!
So for now we go back to Cruller to obtain the power of invisibility. Then we enter this crazy lady's mind. It seems that we are now in some kind of theater, as this woman tells us that this place used to be poppin', but the star of the show got stage fright and locked herself in her dressing room. So now it's our job to convince Bonita to do the show. We grab some figments and use invisibility to enter Bonita's room as she is crying. We attempt to comfort her, but
Soleil, I heard you were feeling bad, so I just wanted to say that whatever you're going through, you're not alone. I used to be a performer myself, and I know how hard it is when...
Kid, can't you see I'm trying to have a moment here?
Sorry, I was looking for Bonita Soleil.
You mean the personal muse of Gloria von Guten? Her inner sunshine?
The spirit of her youth, yes.
That's me. What do you want, an autograph? I'm kind of busy here.
Put you on stage right away for your big number.
Am I not playing this right or something? I'm drowning in a quagmire of self-pity. Why aren't you getting that? Should I be doing more with my hands?
Oh, who's that crying?
Oh, sorry. Hey, can we kill the waterworks for a second? Thanks. It's a recording. It helps me focus.
we offer to give Bonita a spotlight and she says that we'll need a candle and there might be a spare in the storeroom. On our way there, we find a vault with a memory titled Gloria's Cruel Training, and it shows a place called Hagatha's Home for Girls, as this creepy ass lady takes her in and they're doing really strict routines with a whip in her hand. However, we find a candle atop the shelf, put it in the spotlight and light it as a play begins. And Bonita actually makes it to the show, and this child definitely isn't gonna see the next day. This dude named Jasper blames Bonita's bad acting for ruining the show, and she runs off. Now we need to make a good play so this guy doesn't shut down the theater.
Great, well, I'm off to go kill myself.
We try all these plays until we can finally make our way up to the catwalks. We do some platforming and find a vault titled Gloria's Fallen Star, and it shows Gloria being very successful until she finds an envelope that contains her mother's unaliving herself note, and a picture of her mom jumping off of a building. And honestly, it's just extremely depressing. We see this wannabe Phantom of the Opera, and it turns out to be the fat purple guy himself, and Raz roasts his bitch ass.
Why, I never! How dare you accuse me of being the rugged and romantic scoundrel that has thrilled and terrified audiences for years?
Yeah, I guess you're right. He's so agile and limber and thin. He could never be you.
Why, you... Of course it's me!
Well, it's time to hang up the cape, Tubbs, because your days of terrorizing the theater as the Phantom are over.
But now we got a boss fight. We flash the spotlight to knock him down and damage him, and we do this until he goes down. Bonita comes back and she's glowing as this fat dude is now incredibly tiny. We make it out of Gloria's mind and obtain her trophy. Then see this French dude and this ugly ass guy both in stray jackets. We go to the top of this tower and meet an artist named Edgar, as he has anger towards the doctor because he has artist block. So we enter his mind, and this world has to be one of my favorites. The colors are so pretty and vibrant, and it's almost glow in the dark. Our objective is to return 4 queens to Edgar, so we do some platforming and see our first queen, but it gets snatched into a painting. So we follow inside and have a mini boss fight with this tiger luchador. We just slap him until he's defeated and get our first queen. We go on our way and see the next card and have another luchador fight, and his moves are slightly different, but we still beat him.
Soon they'll be dragging your ass out of here.
We see a vault called Edgar's Lament that shows him with some girl and some jock steals her from him. Well, not really a jock, he's a cheerleader. So. The next card is guarded by a luchador named Eagle. He does this flying attack, but it backfires on him and we win. Next up, we must talk to Dingo the Matador, as he wants a painting of his bullfight hung up on the wall in exchange for a new power called Confusion. We use Confusion on the bull El Odeo while the man can finish the painting. Now, we are able to fight the last wrestler and use Confusion on him to beat the brakes off bro and get the final queen card. We give the cards to Edgar and he uses them to build up, and we arrive in this Coliseum as it's revealed that Edgar is El Odeo. We bait his charge attack and he gets stuck in the wall, so we use these banderillas and throw them at his nalgas. And now Dingo jumps in, and this fight is kind of annoying. We use Confusion on Dingo and use the banderillas on him and defeat him, and Edgar was able to finish his painting of Lobato. Our next target is Fred Bonaparte. Napoleon is tryharding on Fred for no reason, so we assist him by doing some favors for his little pieces, and we motivate them to win, but they think Fred doesn't even care about them. So we get him to write a note that says he would be sad if they died, and it works. We legit just keep on doing this until we win, and Napoleon is satisfied. Fred is all back to normal and starts to take a nap, but now we got a straitjacket, so we put on a little disguise to get past this gross ass thing.
Chief Orderly Bonaparte, you're
Armed.
Now we just need to make our way to the upper ruins of the asylum. This place is fucking busted, as rats are literal enemies here. This little lady gives us a warning, but we just kind of ignore her, and she's kind of cute. She's working for Lobato, and he threatens to cook her little turtle, and she freaks the fuck out.
Even if I... Oh, not even if I cook you a little turtle soup?
Please, Dr. Lobato, no!
A nice hot turtle soup. Nothing better on a cold night like this than some boiling hot soup.
You leave Mr. Pokeylope!
Oh, okay. You sure?
No! I mean, yes!
All right. Oh, why don't I just go ahead and heat you up a cup? It's made of turtles that you love. Isn't that right, Mr. Pokeylope? Okay. Well, maybe I'll just make some for myself. Bring me a good brain, Shigo, or Mr. Pokeylope becomes Mr. Smokylope.
We see that he has taken Agent 9 and Vidello's brains, so now it is truly up to Raz to stop this. We save the turtle, Mr. Pokeylope, and the lady is ecstatic.
Mr. Pokeylope! Oh, Mr. Pokeylope! I was so scared! Now you're back, Mr. Pokeylope, and you'll tell us what to do! Right? You've got a plan or something, right, Mr. Pokeylope? Right?
That's right, baby. Daddy's here. Everything's gonna be alright.
Mr. Pokeylope offers his brain to distract Lobato, and now we are able to get the agent's brains back, and also free Lily. Oleander arrives and Raz is pissed, but the agents start fighting. Now that everyone in the asylum is sane, they all start to leave as the Milkman finally completes his mission, aka Boyd lights this bitch on fire. Raz kisses Lily as the asylum explodes. Oleander shows up brainless, but his brain is actually in this contraption, so we use these cement blocks to break it, but as we break it, the sneeze powder starts to leak out, and Raz sneezes his brains out, but we use telekinesis to move our brain with Oleander's and enter his mind, kinda. More like we combine minds. And we see little Oli, and now we need to protect him so he can get his bunny. Also, apparently Oleander's dad was a butcher, so that's why we see all this meat. We see one more vault that shows Oleander befriend his little bunny, but his dad takes it, and yeah, great dad. Explains a lot, actually. We slide down this rail, but Oli's dad is here, and he fucking bolts at us. We wait for him to do this attack where his cleaver gets stuck, so we can climb him and slap his ugly ass. We repeat this for a minute until the butcher tosses us out, and we see Raz's father now, as we must follow him to show off our acrobatic skills. Water is continuously rising as his dad attempts to sabotage us, but we slide down this long ass ladder, and now we gotta fight both dads simultaneously. So we throw these flaming spikes that Raz's dad is throwing at us at the butcher, and we beat him, but Raz's real dad shows up, and the butcher and our figment of Raz's father combine into this fucking nightmare. So now we have this fight where we just block his attacks until we become huge so we can defeat it and save everyone. A ceremony is held for Raz, and Cruller makes Raz a Psychonaut. And Razputin sneaks in one more kiss with Lily, but apparently there's another emergency. And Raz's dad is extremely supportive. And that's it. We did it. We beat Psychonauts. My god. Okay, so here are my final thoughts. Psychonauts is a literal classic. The characters, the setting, the art style, the world building, everything about it is so enticing. It is so unbelievably creative, and it is truly one of its kind. For a game that released in 2005, it aged like fine wine. It's so funny and charming that there's really no way to hate it. This game was an absolute blast, and maybe you should give it a shot. Let me know what game I should do next, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, because I'd really appreciate it, and it helps me more than you know. Alright, that's about it. Love you. Bye.